Welcome into the Gospel Heifer Show, Michelle
and Rochelle.
And this evening we are, survivors of the Texas snowstorm, if you want to call it that. It was barely 3 inches, and Texans just need to get with the program. No salt, no trucks, nothing was available. So we're blessed because we had no water damage, we had no power outages. So we were very blessed, but there are still right now many neighborhoods in the Texas area, especially the urban areas, that still have no water, have no electricity. Yeah. There are people shacking up with family members because they have not had fresh water in weeks. We're talking weeks now.
And Mississippi joined on board too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew about that.
Yeah, Mississippi joined on board. And to top things off, our Texas Governor Greg Abbott has taken great precaution with his next call demand. We're going to go maskless. Yes, officially March 10th. And we're going to open businesses up 100%. Did our numbers disappear? Did I miss something?
No, our numbers are about to get real bad.
I'm just like, okay, what happened? Because I
think he's trying to make up for the big F-up he did on the snowstorm.
Yeah.
So I think this is a diversion.
It is a diversion, but do you know how it's going to spike because spring break is coming up?
He does not care.
I know he doesn't care. But I'm hoping for those that live in Texas, do take common sense over government orders.
Well, we're fucked. Because common sense is not something especially Texans have.
Exactly. Hey, we want to thank you guys for tuning in with us this evening. Of course, we're on Instagram Live every Monday night with the question of the day. It could be a random question. We just like to go deep, deep, deep. And then we take the footage. We didn't do it this week, but we do usually take the footage and for our question of the week and just show everybody's responses. So that's Monday nights on Instagram Live, 8:30 Central Standard PM. And of course, if you don't catch our live broadcast, you can catch our show on Indie Central TV, which is on Roku and Amazon Fire Stick. So tonight, I want to check on one of our guests first before we bring and start talk topic in, because this talk topic, I don't see Dr. Tyra as of yet. So let me take a moment to hit her back up, because I got our other guest in here. Yes, it's very neglectful on how everybody's doing. Hey, D, everybody's online. Let me send this link to Dr. Tyra real quick because I want her to join in the conversation. But we're going to have a conversation on mental health. Mental health it's already something that needs to be addressed in the Black community. Mm-hmm. But now that we're going through a pandemic, we have more mental issues taking place online than anywhere else that I've witnessed. We have seen so many meltdowns, so much random odd behavior. It makes no sense. So let me send Dr. Tyra this link so we can get her in the studio. And she and Dr. Candace are going to be joining us shortly and let us know about some stuff that we can take as precaution. If we know people that are suffering with certain mental issues and they spend a lot of time on social media, that could be a platform for bullying. That could push somebody over the edge because people have no filter and no chill when it comes to just, being a keyboard gangster nowadays. So let me go ahead and send Dr. Tyra this, and then we're going to hopefully have her join us and Dr. Candace very soon. So y'all just give me a hot moment. But in the meantime, if you're not following us, follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and Twitch. We're also on Twitter. So we try to have us try to make their rounds. So we just try to make our rounds. So let me text this to Dr. Tyra, and then we're going to bring in our guests and start talking about this. So if you guys have any questions during the interview, if you're on Twitch or you're on YouTube, you can just type them in the comments. We'll make sure our guests see these questions, and they can be more than happy to answer whatever questions you guys may have about mental health and social media. I'm going to tell you that's all we've been talking about on our podcast. Just the mental health issues. Let me see if I got this out. There. All right, so I just sent the link to Dr. Tyra, so hopefully she'll be joining us soon. Let's go ahead and get to the guest that we do have in the building. Let's add her on. Dr. Candace, what's going on, Dr. Candace? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Hey, ladies. Thank
It's,
you. It's
it's
an
good to see you.
honor.
Well, it's an honor for us because I'm telling you, the ignorance we display online, I'm glad you joined us.
But it's just an honor to be here with you, ladies. You're so beautiful, and I listen to y'all all the time. I
Thank
follow
you.
y'all, and yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Casey. You a beautiful sister too. I love your candidness and your sense of humor that you mix in while you're still trying to help people. That's a big plus because a lot of people are just straightforward business. And can I get a joke? I mean, even if you're going to bring me some bad news, can I get a
Right?
little laughter out of it? So,
That's right. That's right. And that's kind of funny that you bring that up because in the business, in the career that Dr. Tyra and myself are in, it was not always like this. A lot of times when you see psychologists and therapists and mental health professionals, you see white men in their 70s and their 60s. And now you have them looking like me with the locks and the tats and the piercings, and you got them looking like
exactly.
me and Tyra now, me and Dr. T. So it's and I bring me. And when I first started, it was a little difficult because I was like, where do I fit in with this career? And you know
Hmm.
what? I fit in as Dr. Candace.
Right,
Just
right.
being me. Just being me. Because it is 4%, only 4% of our of black psychologists in the United States. And I'm
Mm.
one of the four. Of 4%.
Jesus.
And now we look like us.
Yeah.
This is us.
This
Yeah,
is,
this is how we
and it's
look.
a beautiful thing because people thought it stopped at the Huxtables, and we got reality here where we have black people in the medical field, but especially with mental health. So, could you give our audience a little background about how you became in the position that you are and why you did it?
Okay. Well, why I did it? Ooh, we'd be here 5 hours and we ain't got time for that. I know. We ain't got time for that. But yes, I am a clinical psychologist and I am based here in California. And my specialty is anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, bipolar, and the stuck syndrome.
Mm.
And trauma. I deal a lot with trauma. And my clientele is women and couples. I'm starting to incorporate some men in there, but my own private practice is for women and couples. And how I started, the people and the women that I serve, I am them and they are me. I started because of my background. I needed
Yeah.
help. I
Hmm.
needed help and I wouldn't get help. And I noticed I was one of the lucky ones. When I did reach out for help, I was able to get someone that can relate to me and culturally competent. So I said, I'm going to do the same thing. And
Hmm.
that's one of the reasons why I started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm
Yes.
glad we have because sometimes when people are seeking help for that, they first of all, I need to go to somebody I can identify with.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we'll be like, okay, it could be a Caucasian therapist or somebody who don't relate to the black community issues. I would just feel comfortable personally if I have somebody that knows that background
Looks like me.
and any time of trauma that I'm bringing to the table, they understand that and don't try to be judgmental. So
Absolutely.
when it comes to mental health, why do you feel that is not being pushed hard enough in the black community?
Well, one thing is fear, another is judgment, and we fear, judgment, and denial. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times it comes from a generation. A lot of our culture, especially in the black and brown communities, we are used to, we pray about it and then we push it under the rug. Or we
Yeah.
come together, we say, well, everybody get on the prayer line and we're going to pray about it. And I'm a believer and I'm a Christian as well. However, it takes more than that. Because prayer without works, that's a wish. So
Okay.
therefore, a lot of us fear, judgment, and denial, or especially with women, African American, the sisters, the black women, we so used to doing everything anyway. This is what we say. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So that's one of the reasons. I mean, those are some of the reasons. But if we talk about judgment, we don't want to be judged. And back in the day, when you walk in some of the medical professionals and some of the office, you probably felt judged because they didn't understand or they wasn't culturally competent to be able to
Mm-hmm.
handle. And when I say culturally competent, I'm not necessarily saying you have to see a black therapist if you are black or Hispanic therapist if you are Hispanic. I'm not saying that because when I wouldn't get help at one time, let me tell you, ladies, I had a white woman and she brought it. She
Mm.
helped me. She was
Okay.
culturally competent. She went and did the work because I
Okay.
told her I need somebody to identify with all this. The lips,
Right.
the hips, the hair, the skin. You got to be able to know where I'm coming from. Because there's a certain thing of mental health and mental illness, two different things. Everybody got mental health. Not everyone has a mental illness. However, there is a such thing as a black mental health. So it is. It's a difference. Some may disagree, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We grown folks. We can agree to disagree. There is a such thing because we come from a generational of something that some people know nothing about.
Yes.
We have been carrying that.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope I answered your question.
No, you answered my question and then some, because we've always said since black people were brought to the shores of this great country that we were let go of once we got freedom, never had therapy. Never had therapy for us.
And it's just trauma passed down and trauma passed down and trauma passed down, on and on.
That's right. It's trauma. Just continuing with that generation. And we have to stop that at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And coming and going to speak with someone and getting it out, you can. You can
Right.
heal. A lot of us think we cannot heal from that, but you can.
And I'm glad. I'm glad of that. I'm sorry, because I see Dr. Tyra's in the room. Tyra, we still looking for you, girl.
Come on.
I can't get in or something.
I'm sorry I interrupted Dr. Candace, but I'm just trying to make
It's
sure.
okay. I was saying, come on, because I need my sister in the room.
I'm going to send her this invite one more time, and I want you to continue with the conversation that we're having about mental health, especially in the black community. I know we said that we did not get therapy when we were first freed as slaves. And she did say that's generational stuff that's being passed on each generation.
But I also always heard, when a woman is pregnant and she's going through trauma, that baby's also going through trauma.
And she is absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
And I studied that in school. We did a study on that, a blind study, and with statistics and everything. And that is absolutely right. It is called prenatal depression.
Okay.
Absolutely. So when a mother, she is absolutely right. When you are pregnant and you are going through something, the baby, now it doesn't, I'm not saying it happens all the time. Don't get me wrong. I don't want anyone that's watching this, pregnant, and she having problems with the baby's daddy and husband, and now she's saying Dr. C said something wrong with the baby. I ain't saying that. It ain't everybody. However, it can happen. Absolutely, it can happen. Where it's called prenatal depression, and then the baby come out, and you think the baby just got colic or jaundice or something wrong, and the baby crying and it's just going through. Because the mom has been going through.
And that's pitiful, because I think since we never got therapy, and while it would be so excellent that if that took place, the trauma that we pass on from generation to generation, and then we have brainwashing in our society. And people don't even realize I'm being brainwashed. That comes to social media. Social media, since the pandemic, has been the hot spot for socializing. And sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing, because some of us become obsessed with it. Some of us take some issues a little too seriously. And then and then sometimes you could display very erratic behavior.
There she goes.
Okay? And I think we got our good doctor. There she is, Dr. Tyra. Dr. Tyra. Thank you, girl. Sorry to
Hey, everybody.
have you here.
Look, I'm used to StreamYard shenanigans.
But we were just getting to the portion of social media. Before we get to that, I want our audience to hear a little of your background, Dr. Tyra.
Okay, hi, everyone. I hope everybody is doing well. So my background is I have a bachelor's in psychology. I have a master's in clinical psychology, a master's in counseling psychology, a master's in education. And I'm also working on, actually completed all my doctoral courses, and I will have my doctorate in about 11 months in psychology as well. So
Excellent, girl. Go
so I
ahead.
am a psychotherapist out of Philadelphia. I'm nationally certified as an anger management specialist, soon to be addictions counselor as well.
Okay, great.
Girl, you ain't got enough hats.
Look, I think I got too many hats. That's the problem.
Well, of course, Dr. Candace has been told us about her background. We talked about trauma with blacks when they were freed as slaves, that we never got therapy. And now that we're in a situation where we go to social media for being social with people,
Yeah.
how all all of us in this room, we
Mhm.
have personally seen some erratic behavior online. We've seen some erratic reactions. So,
Mhm.
Dr. Kaz, I'm going to pick up where we were getting ready to start, and we're going to go with Dr. Tyra about why do you think there's been so much depression, problems, and erratic behavior displayed on social media?
Well, one, I would say the pandemic, but I'm not even going to go there because this has been going on before the pandemic started.
Mhm.
This maybe has heightened it because people are home more, but this has been
Mhm.
going on. One of the
Mhm.
reasons is because anonymity. You're hiding behind the keyboard. So behind the keyboard and behind the screen, it's like Halloween. You can be who you want to be any day. It's the Halloween
Mm.
effect. That's what I name it. It's like go put
Exactly.
your costume on, get behind the screen, type, and you can become. You know that little program they got all called Cutfish? You can become whoever you
Yeah.
want.
Mhm.
So like I said,
Mhm.
it's called the Halloween effect. That's what I call it now. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's one of the reasons. People and I look at it when you are a bully and you're behind the keyboard. That is insecurity.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've always thought that. Said that.
Absolutely. And I don't think that people are using it what it's actually for. You made a
Mhm.
very good point when you said it can be good, it can be bad. Actually, Tyra and I had this conversation and we called it the two E's. It's for entertainment and education.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it. You go
That's
in there, you
exactly
get
what it
you some
is.
laughs, you see a good meme that maybe touched the heart, you go, you maybe see a webinar or a class or whatever you like, or programs like the Gossip and Heifers where you can get
Mhm.
education and entertainment. There you go.
Yeah.
And use it
Boom.
for what it is. Like
Yep.
someone said, like a really good friend of mine said, she said, take what you can get from
Mhm.
entertainment and leave what you can't. Leave what you
Exactly.
Mm.
don't need. Leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
People think that they overthinking it. And when
Mhm.
people overthinking it and they come on and they're being bullies and they got the Halloween effect and they got their costume on, it sounds like insecurity and you got too much time on your hands. Or
Yeah.
maybe there's something wrong and you need to reach out to Tyra and I.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Also, to piggyback off of what Candace was saying, um, I'm seeing like the word bully. That word has been used very loosely, these
Mhm.
past few months. And I think that's because a lot of people do not know really what a bully is, and so it's like they call anything that they see, that a behavior that they feel is not appropriate to them, they deem as a bullying behavior. But
Right.
in fact, it's not always bullying behavior. It's just this person just wants to act out and they just want to have an excuse for what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and what I want to provide tonight is a definition of exactly what a bully is. A
I'm glad
bully,
because I didn't mean to cut you off
no,
because
go ahead.
sometimes too I think that word bully is used when a person won't take your shit either.
Right. It's just
There
like
you
if
go.
you're, yeah, and I mean, just like that. I mean, because the thing is like if you're not doing what they want you to do,
Yeah.
now you that bully.
Hmm.
Because I told you no. No means next opportunity. I don't have time to listen to what you want to do. And because I'm
Exactly.
not doing what you want me to do, that don't makes me a bully because I told you no. It means I'm moving on to my next opportunity and I don't have to take what you're dishing out.
Exactly.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, I mean,
Exactly.
for those that need to know, a bully is a person who habitually seeks to harm or intimidate those whom they perceive as vulnerable. That's what Webster is defining bullying as.
Right.
Granted, we do see some behaviors online that are inappropriate, and we do see some cyberbullying.
Yeah.
However, again, people are using that term to define it the way they want it to be, not as what it actually is.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And I'm glad you brought that up because, like I said, we'll see the terms. The heifers are always going to speak our minds. We're always going to be blunt spoken. But we will occasionally hear the term, "Oh, bullies."
No, I'm called bully quite often because I'm not finna sit back and listen to your bullshit. Period. And when I hear nonsense, I'm gonna shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean, you can call me a bully all day long if that makes
Mhm.
you feel better about yourself. And I really feel that's where it's coming from. It makes them feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
But what it is like people that when they see people who are strong, confident about the things that they're saying and the things that they're doing, that's where people start to call people bullies. It's either, and then we as black women, we're either going to be either deemed a bully or angry black woman.
It's always one of the
It's going
two.
to be it's going to be some kind of label that they're going to try to attach to us
Mhm.
Yeah,
because we're not going to put up with somebody's nonsense.
exactly.
And I wish adults would realize that, because if you do defend something you believe in or something that you may
Mhm.
have said and somebody doesn't agree with it, there are people that will taunt that individual
Mhm.
because they had their own opinion. And
Mhm.
I've just heard crazy stories about people DMing, and if there's a live going on, comments are being exchanged. I'm like,
Mhm.
what in the world is
Yeah,
taking place here?
Mhm.
nonsense.
And so when we get to this point where we have adults over the age of 18, I would hope, that
Mhm.
are interacting with each other on social media, but
Mhm.
their behavior, they get bent out of shape about somebody may have said something, they totally misunderstood what they were talking about.
Mhm.
Do you think, and I'm sure you ladies have too, incidents where things go too far?
Yes.
Mhm. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there any way that you ladies would recommend diffusing situations like that?
Well, it's kind of difficult. Dr. T, I'm gonna speak on this one.
Mhm.
I'm gonna speak on this one. It's a little difficult, especially during social media, because you kind of don't want to give everything your energy. So you may want to push the button and disconnect them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Because on
Mhm.
social media you can block. It's a block button for a reason.
Right.
You don't want to give everybody your energy. Everyone
Right.
shouldn't have access to you. So if you're on
Mhm.
social media and it's bullying, oh, they can be blocked. But if it's
Right.
face to face, text, phone calls, and all this and that, and they're able to come
Mhm.
to the house, that's a little different,
Right.
Joe. However,
get them to the
I'm
house.
gonna digress for a minute and take it back to mental health just for a second. I
Mhm.
don't know if everyone out there know. I know Dr. T is familiar with this, and you ladies may be familiar with this as well. But there is a true thing, and there is a diagnosis of someone being addicted. Because addiction can be anything. It's more
Mhm.
than just drugs. You can be
Yeah,
Mhm.
addicted to drama, addicted to
Mhm.
BS that's going on. You
yeah,
really can. You really
Exactly.
can. And then you have to come see someone like Dr. T and I. You really
Mhm.
can be addicted to certain behaviors. So
Mhm.
sometimes, and I'm not saying all, but sometimes when people are bullying or being, you know what, this is gossip and half, so we're going to keep it all the way real. You got bullies and then you got assholes.
Very.
exactly.
Mhm.
Let's just put it out there. You
Yeah,
got bullies and
Mhm.
you got assholes. So it is
Hmm.
a difference,
Yeah.
because bullies they got the insecurity. Not saying assholes, no, but then there's like
Mhm.
Rochelle said, there's a difference, especially when you tell them no. But then you just got assholes. So
Mhm.
it is a difference. But it goes back, I want to say, to mental health as well. I kind of equate everything with that because everybody has mental health. And for
Mhm.
you, for anyone, any individual that comes on, especially an adult, let's say somebody
Mhm.
at 35 on up, even in their 20s, but let's just, for the sake of this broadcast, 35 on up, because we grown folks.
yeah,
And they
Mhm.
coming on and they bullying, they doing tit for tat, and they taking it too far.
Mhm.
I don't know where everybody else from, but they got too much time on their hands. If you're a
Right.
grown ass man or a grown ass woman and you arguing with someone else on social media,
yeah,
I mean, it tells you something about them. It
Yeah.
Right.
tells you something about their
Mhm.
character and their mental state. I didn't
Right.
say they had a mental illness. It tells you something about their mental state. And you may not want to
Mhm.
get at your energy. That's
Right.
why the block button
Right.
exists.
Right. I mean, I totally agree with everything Dr. Candace is saying because at the end of the day, people are doing way too much. And cyber
Too
addiction
much.
is something that a lot of people do have. They stay on social media all day, all night. And it's
Hmm.
just like at some point, it's like people start believing that these people are their family,
yeah,
because of things that they say, their family, they say that they start believing that they are in relationships with these people because
Yes.
of the way that they are viewing them.
Yes.
It's a lot of little things that's happening. I know I have received numerous calls about various things that have happened on social media, you know, predominantly on IG, because of different things that was happening. And it was what was really funny was I spoke with family members who jumped on IG just to see what was going on. Now, none of my family is on Instagram like I'm on Instagram, okay?
yeah,
And so When they got on, they started giving their perception of what was happening. And as soon as they started talking, I was like, I took my removed myself and I went back in. I said, damn, I see exactly what you're saying. So now I see how people are getting lured in. And it's not
Yes.
like people have, it's not like they have like they giving them hypnotizing them or anything. It's just that people are getting lured in from either A, fineness, because if it's a attractive individual on there, people get lured in from fineness. Like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
sit there and look at this eye candy all
Shiny
night.
object.
Exactly. And that's the shiny object, the eye candy. The eye candy is a shiny object. There we go. Then you got the people that like the drama because
Mhm.
we got,
Yes.
like Dr. Candace was saying, there's a whole lot of drama driven people in this world. And
Yes.
and that's what they thrive off of. Then you got people who think I guess they're looking for love because they done looked for love all outside the door and couldn't find nothing. Then COVID
Mhm.
happened, and now I got to go to this computer here. I
Mm.
done been to every dating site, probably got rejected from dating sites, and now they're using Instagram and all these other places as a means to find a relationship, which
Mhm.
is at the end of the day, what's the chances of you meeting in person half of the people that you've met in the lives?
Exactly.
And it's just like you can start counting, because at the end of the day, a person who is mentally well is only going to seek out those people that are safe.
There you
Right.
go. There you
Right.
go.
you know
Absolutely.
and finding who's safe to see. I mean, I know I met how many people I meet off of IG so far. I think I met like maybe one or two
Mhm.
people that were safe. I met them at their
Right.
businesses and
Yeah.
places like that. But at the end of the day, you definitely have to protect your peace when it comes to social media.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I
And
think that is the
mhm,
problem. That was beautifully said, Dr. T. I agree with you 110. And I think also it's the problem too is it's okay for us to disagree. You gotta have opinions. Everybody got opinion. Y'all
mhm,
know what
Yeah.
opinions like.
Yeah.
Everybody
mhm,
got opinion.
Asshole.
All
Mhm.
right. So
Everybody got
everybody
one.
and it's okay if someone has an opinion about something.
mhm,
However, I think, like I said, they got the Halloween effect, the Halloween syndrome. So they get
mhm,
back there, and I don't want to say sensitive. I don't want to use that word. I'm just saying that they get back there, and it's okay to have your opinion, but sometimes the delivery.
mhm.
Yeah.
People, you
Right.
know what I call them? And I think we talked about this. I was on Dr. T's live. We talked about this. The audacity. Some people
Mhm.
just got the audacity to have
Yes.
a keyboard.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
where
Yes.
all the audacity grow. Bad there.
Mhm.
Yes.
And they're just not being mindful of the
Mhm.
delivery and what they're
Right.
saying. There's no emotional intelligence
Mhm.
on social media. Because
Right.
emotional
No.
intelligence,
Mm-mm.
basically, if I could just
Mhm.
put it in a nutshell,
Mhm.
looking, mirroring yourself, treating them how you would want to be treated. There's
Right.
none of that.
Mm-mm.
Everybody just
No.
say what you want to say. And
Right.
Yeah.
you're right. When Dr. T said you have to protect your energy, you have to protect your space. Like I stated, everybody shouldn't have access to you. That is why that block button is there.
Right.
Amen.
Well, I
You
don't
know,
block plenty of people.
but you know what? But I'm gonna touch on sensitivity. Because I know, you like you don't want to say sensitive. I'm gonna say sensitive. Because the
Okay?
thing is, the world is very sensitive these days. But
Yes.
let me give you another little piece of this when it comes to the sensitive thing. See, people are sensitive when they want to. Okay,
Thank you.
they making a choice to be sensitive.
Yes.
They get on these lives, they say damaging things to people, they hurt their feelings, they get in their DMs, they do the
Mhm.
same exact behavior, and as soon as somebody calls them on their bullshit, then all of
Then
a
it's sensitive.
sudden they want to get sensitive and, oh, what was me, and I'm going to call IG police, and I'm going to report your account, I'm going
Yeah.
to tell this one, and I'm going to do that,
Mhm.
and then they go doing all that other stuff. So at this point, here we are with these imposter folks. Because
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
one moment you're sensitive, and the next moment you want to be big bad, big bad mama or big bad papa trying to be a bully this way, antagonizing these people. You know,
Exactly.
so it's like
Absolutely.
so it's like what level is the sensitivity? You're either gonna be
Absolutely.
sensitive or you're not.
Yes.
Pick a lane.
So
Exactly.
don't put out what you can't take.
Yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely. That
That's
is so
Hmm.
common
true.
sense, though.
Yeah.
And a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
people, she's right. Absolutely. And a lot of people, they are real sensitive, and you're right, when they want to be. when
Mhm.
it's convenient for them.
Yep.
When it's
Exactly.
convenient for them.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And then they get on there, like you said, and now they're sensitive and crying, but the one moment, oh, they was a superwoman.
Right.
Child.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
they
Typing it
did
out.
everything to everybody, and I can imagine. And like I
Mhm.
go back to that's a certain group of people.
Mhm.
And it's one thing about social media. You meet all walks and all types of life. Some people
Mhm.
that come across my DM or come across my page, and my whole page is geared towards mental health and just my business and my
Mhm.
products and mental health. And that's how I do my page. I put something funny now and again in a story, but
Mhm.
I want to tap on this if it's cool. Boundaries. A lot of
Mm.
people don't know boundaries. You
Yeah.
know, so I
Mhm.
haven't gotten a lot of crazy stuff in my DM. I've gotten stuff. This the only thing I got crazy in my DM. I got two. I got a couple. I get this a lot. I get men trying to hit on me, knowing damn well I'm. First of all, if you go to my page, it's geared. First of all, it says Dr. Candace.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one. So
Right.
what makes you think, really? Yeah. And then they come in and they sending pictures and they doing this and it's a business page. I'm like, dude, did you not read my title?
Right.
Come on now. Come on. When they do that? Like, we really gonna do this? So I get that.
Yeah, she a doctor. Let me holler.
Yeah. Looking for a paycheck.
They want free help.
They looking for a paycheck too.
I'm just like, because people do set up. I mean, that's what we do with our page. Our page is a fun business page to promote our platform. And
Mhm.
I
Yes.
wouldn't want anybody just to randomly come. Ooh, and we get this a lot. Two
Mhm.
sisters. The first of all, yes, you will be surprised on how many freakazoids
Yes.
have been like, oh, well, y'all are both y'all sisters. Ooh,
Like nigga, no.
no, we ain't doing no. Hell to
No.
no, we ain't doing no threesomes. I don't know what the hell wrong with you.
I
So,
get
I
that.
will stab myself in the eye with a pick before I know.
I
But
know.
it's amazing that people are that bold to even have that come out their mouth.
it's like, where the hell did that come from?
Do I look like that thought around the corner from you?
Right? I know.
Nothing about me or my sister says violations.
Yes. Nothing about my page say that, nothing about yours, nothing about Dr. T's page say that, and I get that almost every day. And I'm like, are you serious?
And
And my
it's
whole
sick.
page is mental health. So I'm like, dude, you at the right spot, mental health.
Yeah, you might need some help.
Mhm.
And we got a lot of these men on here that need it. Because, the sad thing is, I find more men being assholes than women. I've seen some cuckoo women,
Right.
and I
Mhm.
don't block some of them.
Mhm.
But I see a lot of men being bold and brazen to say things to women
Yes.
they wouldn't say to their face.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or they wouldn't say it to any man either.
But
But
no.
I'm like, where's your mama? Where your mammy? Maybe that's a problem. They had a mammy and not a mama.
And Vaki's always said that these men have been hatched. They were not birthed. They
No.
were hatched. Because
Mhm.
some of the things they have the nerve and the audacity to say to
Say,
people.
yes.
We had a gentleman, and I mean, we could have put a chill on it, but it was so disrespectful what he said in one of our lives.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, who are you talking to? It was just filthy.
And instead of being a man and saying, well, I apologize, the food ran out.
Wow.
And I'm like, there's so many, excuse my friend, but there's so many bitch men. and then men, then you got black men having the audacity of why y'all single.
Right. Because y'all crazy. That's why.
I mean, I'm like, if I wanted to date a woman, I'd been a lesbian. But I'm straight. So I'm looking for a man. I'm not looking for a bitch man. Or what some folks call them Pams. I don't want a Pam.
Oh my God.
Not at all.
Back to the mental illness. And like
But
I
that
said,
is mental illness.
that's what I'm talking about, because most men, like I said, have been coming out the side of their faces saying some of the most disrespectful things.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it's the motivation because I'm behind a keyboard,
Just that keyboard.
or am I really having some issues in here with women?
I think it's both. I don't know. You think it's
Yeah,
both as well?
I think it's both.
I think it's both because a confident brother, I don't really see doing that. A
Right.
confident brother,
Exactly.
Mhm.
first of all, he's supposed to be at work unless he at work on social media. What time of day was you on social media?
Exactly. All damn day.
Confident brother,
Right.
I don't see doing that. And I know
Mhm.
some real men.
Right.
You know,
A real man ain't gonna be on social media all day. A
no,
real man is
not
gonna be
at all.
working his job. Granted, we
Exactly.
do know is that this was a different 12 months, but at the end of the day, you should have been doing something constructive, helping those kids with homeschooling. You could have
Mm-hmm.
been
Yeah.
doing helping somebody do something,
Help yourself.
instead of
Yeah,
being
help,
on,
exactly. Help yourself.
right. I mean, find a way to make some money on social media,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
you
That's right.
know. But sometimes some people, they are more privy to being trying to find the right word without being mean or like I'm man bashing or anything, because I'm not man bashing at all.
No, because if they were
Um,
men, boo, you
it's
wouldn't have to
just
say this.
yeah, it's just I had the word at the tip of my tongue in regards to some of the behaviors I've been seeing with some of these men that's on there. Um, the bottom line is they wouldn't act this way. How can I put it? They lacking social skills. Okay.
Yes.
Now it's time to it's putting me, Dr. Candace, Dr. Holly, and a whole bunch of others in a position now where we're going to have to re-show people how to socialize. And I think with a lot of, the men and the way they call themselves coming on to people in their DMs and in the lives and things like that, it's like I guess I don't know who showed them that this was the way to actually say things to people, or but
Maybe
it's
daddy
like
missing from the home.
um, I mean, it could be a number of things, but
Yeah.
it's like the social skills is just not there.
Social
But
skills are not there.
but I was gonna say, ever since the internet started and cell
Hmm.
phones started, social skills started going down.
Yes.
Hmm. Hmm.
Dating and how men approach women went down.
Hmm.
Because then they
Hmm.
started, I mean, this is before the pandemic. They
Hmm.
want to sit there and text you all day. And I'm not
Hmm.
giving a man a time or day
Hmm.
that feels like he's gonna text me as
All the time.
if you're gonna try to court me, pick up the phone and talk to me.
Hmm.
Men don't do that no more. They will sit there and text your butt all day and have your phone number. And I had one guy that tried to holler at me. He got mad with me. And I didn't care because I'm not going to let you date me the way you choose to.
That's right.
That's right.
So I was just like, you got my number finally, and you still DMing me. So you know
Hmm.
what? Don't worry about it.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because see,
Hmm.
either you're full of shit, you
Hmm.
probably married.
Hmm.
Either way it go, or your social skills suck that bad.
Mm-hmm.
All
Hmm.
three of them I want nothing to do with.
Hmm.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And regarding social skills, either they won't learn or they can't learn. Because
Yeah.
in 2021, for people to say, well, I don't know what to do, which is cool, and which people can say that.
Hmm.
However, there are resources. You just got to
Yeah.
be
Hmm.
resourceful. You can
Yeah.
find that out anyway. You can Google how to be social. You can Google
Thank
how
you.
to talk to
Yeah.
a woman. You know,
Hmm.
They
and
need to put it back in
I
school.
like what you said as well about since the social media, because again, social media has a lot of good components, like myself and Dr. T already talked about. It's entertainment and education, and you can make it work for you.
Hmm.
However, it can really hurt someone's mental health. It can
Yeah.
make you feel a certain way about yourself. I have been in
Hmm.
my private practice for a while now, and I see so many women that come to me and say that they are battling with self-esteem and self-awareness, and
Hmm.
and they say, but I be on social media like 8 hours, 16 hours a day,
Mm.
and no, I ain't saying making money, just scrolling through everybody else's life. Then they come and they see me or Dr. T, and they are comparing their life, and then they start feeling
Hmm.
bad about themselves. At
Right.
they say things to me. At my age, I should be further. Why should you be further along? Because I'm on
Right.
social media, and my friends are doing this. My
Hmm.
high school friends that I went to school with many, many years ago are doing this, and they
Hmm.
start to feel good, comparing bodies, comparing hair, comparing
Hmm.
look. And so social media has some good components. Has
Hmm.
some good components, but also have some bad components as
And they
well.
forget about
Right.
the filters too.
Exactly.
Half of us don't look like that in real life. They got a filter, boo.
Yeah. Yeah. People are
Absolutely.
using those filters to make themselves look fabulous, and
Yes.
and that's trickery also. Because if somebody is dating somebody and meeting somebody, and it's like they got a filter on the whole time, they go out and actually meet them face to face, and they like,
Ugh.
damn, yeah,
Yes.
Who is you?
who exactly, exactly, you
And you feel
know.
catfished. But
Exactly.
then I'm gonna go back to it's not just men though. I want to say that I feel women
Mm-hmm.
have no self worth nowadays, and they
Right.
make things so easy for men that
Mm-hmm.
I feel men are comfortable
With
talking to
saying,
women the way they talk to
mm-hmm.
them.
Yes.
Say yeah, because some women are just so happy to have a man in a bed. They'll
Mm-hmm.
pay for
Mm-hmm.
everything. They'll
Mm-hmm.
give it up soon as they see him. Oh, girl, we FaceTime for about 2 or 3 nights. Boo, that's not
That's
FaceTime.
not a date. That's not a date. That's not a,
It's not a date, and a lot of women look at it as a date.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
women have lowered their standards so low.
Yes.
Men feel they can talk to anybody this way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought it up than me. Because now
Okay.
we gonna get into it. Let's have a conversation. Grown women right here. That's
Mm-hmm.
right. You are absolutely right. And the women we're having coming from a place of trauma,
Mm-hmm.
which we touched on a little bit earlier, then having low self-esteem, and then you
Mm-hmm.
get with someone and he's treating you like whatever. And I've heard so many times, especially growing up, I'd rather be with the devil I know than the one I don't. Why the hell you gotta be with the devil anyway?
At all.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And
Exactly.
then the men get comfortable and they go back to the same. They keep continuing it. Continuing, whether it's with the next chick or the same one, they continue
Mm-hmm.
that behavior. Either they were not checked, or it goes back to what I said. Either you can't learn or you won't learn.
Right.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that has something to do with tainted mental health. I didn't say he had a mental illness, but it has something to do with tainted mental health
Right.
when they just keep redoing it, repeating the cycle, repeating
Yeah.
the cycle. I tell a lot of women, my clientele, to come see me, and they back out the dating world. Well, we didn't got there, we done worked on their journey, and they back in their dating world. And they say, so Dr. C, you know, I should have a type. Some women come to me and they say they don't have a type. I say you should have a type, because guess what types are? I ain't talking about he's 6 foot, good credit and money. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, we all want that. I ain't okay.
That's a common thing because
That's
I want
right.
that good credit is all. But let's carry on.
That's right. But absolutely. However, when I say type to the women,
Mm-hmm.
that means standards.
Yeah.
So you say I don't have no type. So you saying anybody can come over?
Yep.
Anybody can get in?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have a type because it's called standards. You gotta have that. And a lot of times we don't, especially as women, it's due to tainted mental health, not knowing our self-worth. You know you get what you think you deserve.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. But I think, like she said earlier, some women are so eager for it, they just settle for the bare minimum.
Yeah, they don't want to lay
Right.
down in bed by themselves. Like, girl, get a teddy bear. Damn it, you are not alone.
Right.
Get a puppy.
Yeah.
Now,
And what people need to understand is a difference between being alone and being lonely.
yes.
You know, and the
Amen.
bottom line is they don't know the difference between the two, and that
That's
falls
right.
in, and that's why they end up settling for anything and anybody that comes their way. They just don't care. You know, you end up in situations where you want everybody. You know, because we do see a lot of people in those situations.
Amen.
You know, they take whoever's going to show them the most attention.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like through social media lately, we see a lot of people who are attention seeking.
Yes.
I call them attention whores, but God bless you, doctor. No, because I see a lot of these people, and I mean, you witness them, and they just want. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's good or negative, long as they are getting some kind of attention.
Right.
And see, I love to piss people off because I'm not gonna give you any.
Right.
That's right. You're protecting your energy.
You know,
That's
you got to. You definitely have to
Yeah,
protect
took
it.
all my crystals down there, but you can't see them. But nah, honey,
We got our protection behind us.
That's right. But like Dr. T said, she was absolutely right with that, and about the low self-esteem and the women just wanting someone there, and they don't know the difference between being alone and being lonely. And that goes back to, I'm always bring it back to mental health. It goes back to the mental health, the trauma. Because like I said, I work with a lot of women that were told they wasn't black enough or they too black. They ugly. You ain't gonna grow up to be nothing. And molested in the home and trials and tribulations and growing up and fighting and wasn't good enough and didn't feel good enough. If those things are not treated, you bring those into your adulthood and then it
Mhm.
starts to come out in your behavior. So,
Yes.
you know, my heart goes out to the women that do that, and I think you need to, instead of slide all the men sliding DM with obnoxious stuff, they need to come to me, Dr. Tyra, and I, so we can help y'all with that.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah.
because that's an issue. That tells you right there, especially when a woman is seeking all types of attention and she's able and willing to accept the negative
Yeah.
and the hurtful intention. That tells
Mhm.
you something is wrong. Because
Yeah.
that ain't normal. That
And
ain't what you do.
and then as soon
You
as you
should want
call them
better.
on it, they think it's us. You know, like when we do sessions like this, do what we're doing right now. It's
Yes.
like they don't even realize it
Yeah.
that
We
that they're in it. They get so far into this type of relationship, not even realizing that you have trauma going on, honey. You traumatized by all of the negative behaviors and stuff that have been bestowed upon you all these years. You know, when are you going to break the cycle? When are you going to break the chain? When are you going to, sit down and really get to learn who you are? You
Yes.
know, I mean, self identity is everything. Knowing who you are, knowing what you're willing to accept,
Come on
knowing
now.
what you are willing to negotiate on, okay? And knowing, you have to know your wants, your needs, and what you're willing to negotiate. You have to know it. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, but a lot of people don't. A lot of men don't know it. A lot of women don't know it.
Yeah.
And then it's just like when you look up, they come to my office, Dr. Candace's office, and it's just like, oh, I ain't think of that.
You know, it's so funny because I had a man a long time ago trying to holler at me, and his exact words. Oh, you gonna be some work, okay?
Right.
And I knew what he meant with that. He was gonna have to
Work.
put in some effort. So him as a Negro, I'm too
Well,
lazy.
get to working.
Yeah. Oh, you gonna be some work. I'm glad you see this early, so you can take your ass across the street and go waste somebody else's time. Cause you damn right. If effort means work, boo, I'm a lot of effort.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's
Cause see,
right.
I don't have daddy issues.
Right.
Right.
I
Mhm.
was raised to see what my father did for my mother as well as
Mhm.
us,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and I expect the same from you.
Exactly.
That's right.
If you can't do it, move it around.
But there's
That's
nothing
right.
wrong with that.
And that's what they think. Sometimes they
Mhm.
think that there's daddy issues or self-esteem, and there is self-esteem issues. A lot of women do have that.
Mhm.
However, like Dr. T said, some women are walking around and don't know who they are. It's
Yeah.
50, it's
Mhm.
40, 50, 60-year-old women walking around and they never been introduced to themselves.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
So when
sad.
they come to me, I see the problem. It's time for you to be reintroduced to you. You don't
Mhm.
even know you don't even know who you are. You know, don't even know your power, especially as a sister.
Mhm.
Because
Yep.
I said it, and I
Listen,
probably get some responses, but I don't care. Ain't nobody gonna come for me because they can't.
They
As a
not ready.
sister, we got power that people know nothing about. Half us don't know about it. Hell,
yeah.
Yeah.
we got
Right.
power.
Yeah.
But they should know. That's why they fear of the black woman.
Mhm.
That's why so much.
Mhm.
No woman carries so much weight on their back of lies. Being attacked,
Mislabeled.
Mhm.
mislabeled.
Mhm.
Mistreated. It's funny. I was just watching Basketball Wives, and this girl is
Mhm.
carrying on trauma from first grade,
Mhm.
where a white teacher told her she was too black and she won't amount to nothing.
Mhm.
And a lot of black girls have heard this from some teachers
Yes,
sometime in their life.
Yes.
yes.
And
Mhm.
and black men don't realize the trauma and the dilemma. When I say trauma, but the dilemma we have to have when we move.
Right.
They always
Mhm.
think about, well, black men, we got it hard. No, sisters got it hard too, because we
Mhm.
are so feared
Mhm.
Yep.
Exactly.
of our
Mhm.
power and what we know, and we've been copied since shit before we got here.
I think that's why
Yep.
certain individuals instill that in black children when they're young. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I just seen a
Absolutely.
pattern of that when black children are instilled a negative trait from
Mhm.
educator, an adult in their life,
Yeah,
and it causes trauma on them, and they carry that until their adulthood.
Yep.
And we have a lot of people walking around with that childhood hurt that never got talked about, never got
Untreated.
dealt
Mhm.
with.
That's
and
Never
right.
so
treated.
she's aggressive.
Yeah.
She's very angry. You can tell everything's a fight with her. She don't want to hear anything. But
Mhm.
once I heard that, I said, now I understand you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I
Yes.
see why you move the way you move.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
you still hurt and traumatized by what one person said about you.
Mm-hmm. And she's using, and from what you said, with the aggression and her behavior, that's a coping mechanism because she's
Yeah.
still fighting through that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And like
It's
you
a
said,
protective barrier. Yeah.
Yes.
that's right. It is. It's a lot of people dealing with untreated trauma. And we just had a class. I taught my class last night. I teach on every Tuesday to black women in black churches here in Southern California about mental health. And that is what we touched on. So many black women, all of us, we carry so much and we do fear our power and we do fear who we are. But a lot of times that's because we don't know who we are. And we are afraid to get help because we are labeled this. I'm going to say this, and every sister or even not sister, and listening to this broadcast, and the three beautiful sisters I'm looking at are going to know what I'm saying. This is what we are told. You a strong black woman. We was raised with that. I ain't never heard nobody say, she a strong white woman, she'll be okay. She a strong Asian woman, she'll be okay. They labeled us that. And we took it. We did. We took it. We said, that's right. So we put the cape on, and then we don't ask for help. Then we give everything to everybody. We don't ask for help. We didn't fed our sister kids, keeping her kids, our kids, working 25 jobs, arguing with this man, trying to get the oil change. We didn't did all this, right?
Try outside ourselves.
We Uber drivers and Instacart, same day.
Okay, same.
Okay.
Doing it all at once.
Yeah.
And then come home and get our good night's rest. Still get our 7 hours sleep in the meantime after we done did all that and did everybody's homework.
And start all over again.
The next day.
But with that, we feel broken inside.
Yeah.
We feel a disconnect. We do that and we feel disconnect. And the reason why we do that, because we were taught that. Again, we were taught by the women in our lives. And just like one of you said, and you said it beautifully, that when we are children, and that's what I said to the class yesterday, our caregivers, such as our parents or caregivers, grandparents, and the school system, society, creates our reality for us and the perception that we have for ourselves when we are little. It starts there. Just like that child, that adult woman was told as a child that she wasn't going to amount to nothing and she's black. I've been told everything. I've been told things as well. And it starts to create the perception and how you feel about
yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if it goes untreated, again, how most of us do, sweep it under the rug and go and we place it. We place it in a file cabinet.
Right.
You know, because that's what the brain is. It's a big file cabinet. You just store stuff away and say, I'm going to worry about that tomorrow.
But you know, see me, I talk about things that piss me off in my childhood.
And that's good that you talk about it.
I talk about Michelle. No, I want to talk about it.
Yes.
Now, my mom sometimes will shut down because it's her side.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I will talk about it and I let them know. But I think, and I told Michelle, my shield is, I know I can't have this demeanor of don't fuck with me. And that demeanor comes with that demeanor. I know where that demeanor comes from, though. Right. I'm aware that comes from me as a child. Being talked over. Oh, girl, go sit down over here. So you get to this attitude where, you know, you ain't going to talk over me.
Right.
Well, I'm going to get the last damn word. And so I told Michelle, I know I have to check that. But especially trying to get the last word. But when I think somebody is trying to demean me or treat me less than, that's the word, I'm less than, I will get angry.
That's right.
As you should. You know, because the thing is, nobody wants anybody talking to them in a demeaning manner, making them feel bad, putting them into a depressed state. Because the thing is, people, when they say things to others, they don't know what your trigger words are. Yeah. Everybody has a trigger word, whether man or woman. You have a trigger word. And and granted, we're not going to be out there telling people what our trigger words is. It's just that we know when it's said and we know how we respond. Is up to us on how we behave with that word.
Yeah. And so that's what I've been trying to work on. I know my trigger words. And Michelle knows my trigger words. Because Michelle know I fell out with a girl on IG, and she used
2 triggers in one night.
Oh.
Yeah.
2 triggers in one night, and I told her, I said I was on the sideline like, ooh, what's that?
One thing, telling me to shut up is almost like calling me a bitch.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the rudest, nastiest words in the dictionary.
Right.
To tell somebody to shut up. It's disrespectful. I don't tell a child to shut up. So when you tell me to shut up, my chest swell up. My fist ball. What you say to me? I mean, I get into a fight stance. I'm ready. What the hell you just say?
I back up. I just back up.
No, Michelle, no, because I get quiet.
Like, oh, shit.
The moment I get silent, because I'm thinking in my head, girl, don't do it. And then when I see the person, then I stop doing then I feel better at that for 5 seconds. I feel better because I don't cuss them out.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, damn, why'd I do that? Ooh.
You know,
the food start coming in, and you're like, why the hell did I do that?
Well, you did it because when we get to that point, when our boiling point is reached, when we are in that anger moment, we rarely take the time to think first. You know, our first, when we have our fight or flight response, our response is to fight. We're not going to flight. We're not going to stand back. We're not going to think first, when it comes to certain situations. And like when you look at the situations that happen on social media, bottom line is we can't get at half these people. So of course the first response is going to be to fight because we can't get at them, and that's why we see all of the negative behaviors happening on social media every day.
Yes.
Because people they know they like, yeah, I could say this, I could do this, like Dr. Candace was saying earlier, because I'm not gonna see them. What's the chance of me running up on them on the
I
street?
will say the person in me got an understanding and we cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we gotta understand. Now some folks you can't get understanding with.
Oh no.
Sometimes
and those people you gotta let go.
Yeah, because sometimes even when you see erratic behavior online and you interact with certain individuals on a regular basis, and the behavior just goes over the top, you try to talk them off the ledge.
Right.
And it seems like when you try to talk them off the ledge, they go in harder.
Yeah.
Like, okay, don't do this because you don't need to expose yourself to that. And then it's just like, they just go crazy on it. So I'm wondering if there's like a coping mechanism itself.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I figured it had to be some type of coping mechanism.
Yeah, that's trauma. That speaks trauma. When somebody act like that, that's the first thing I know. Oh, you traumatized by something, and that now you can't take it personal. It's like I'm not even gonna take this personal. You traumatized before you start attacking me. This goes deeper to me. Your issue is deeper than what I ever done to you. If I didn't do that, especially if it's on social media.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That says trauma to me. Yeah.
Now,
I see where this is going.
Right.
Yeah. We have met and seen a lot of people with a lot of trauma that just go in on stuff that makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Right.
It's wasted energy.
Yeah.
But I think it's because a lot of people have a lot of time on their hands. And because they have so much time on their hands, they're going to, they're looking for something.
Yes.
Looking for something to entertain them,
Yeah.
but not educate.
There you go.
I want entertainment. I don't want to be educated. I don't feel like thinking.
Yeah.
That's, and that's where people are at.
Well, I'll tell you, me and Michelle have a person that we just ignore now. Because the person is not right. They're not normal. Now that we've been ignoring a person, they lurk, they hear. They don't say anything no more, but they lurking. And I'm like, ooh, what is wrong?
Attention.
You're going to be okay.
Attention and validation. That says That's right. Absolutely.
You can't allow them to enter into your world. They want, like Dr. Candace said, they want attention, they want validation, they want reaction.
Thank you.
They want you to react. And at this point, ignoring is the best thing. Don't show no acknowledgement of them. They'll get the hint eventually.
Hopefully.
or hit the block button. But even with that, you know, with even with the block button, some people still can you know, get around that.
Ghost
So
account.
Girl,
to
they
speak.
have burner accounts. I mean,
Right.
we was in somebody's live. This one man had at least 9 burner accounts, and I'm not gonna lie, I was laughing because every time this person blocked him, oh, Ian, I'm back. You can't get rid of me. Like,
Oh yeah,
I'm
they
back.
did that
I'm
to me.
like, damn, how many accounts do you have?
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Crazy.
Is
Yeah,
this
they
your sole
get
purpose?
wild, Dr. Candace. And somebody got on my account and I blocked them and he said something, don't you call me no troll. And I said, you want to see what I can do to you?
Okay.
You want to see what I can do to a troll? We ain't seen him since.
Okay.
Wow.
Peace.
Now, Dr. Tyra she will get him straight in her live now.
That's why Tyra's our girl. She'll shut him down in a heartbeat.
She was like, you are not gonna come over here with this man, because there was a girl that would and she does have, and I don't mean mentally ill, but she had mental disability. So, you know, you was trying to be nice because of that.
Right.
And I've always been the one, I'm gonna protect anybody that I knew that's weaker than everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Michelle tried it. She started calling our IG 10 times a day.
Back to back.
And anyone else that, you know, then if she saw you live with somebody else, she'll start following them. And she'll do the same thing. And she came to Dr. Tyra's live. You're not going to be in here doing this and harassing people in my live.
I had to shut it down.
I feel like whoever's her caretaker
Yeah, they're not doing
is not, I think she's being ignored.
They're not doing a good job of it.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's totally.
Yeah, that's what that sounds like. That's what that sounds like. To me, ladies, on social media, Facebook and Instagram especially, because I'm more on Instagram as well.
Okay.
To me, I'm not seeing a lot of mental training. You know how you go to the gym or you work out at home. Whether it's yoga, you're doing something with your arms, you're at your gym, or you're walking around 30 minutes. But that's that physical training. I'm not seeing any mental training. It's like everybody's brain is doing what it want to do. And you know we can't believe half of the shit we think or we see. So it's like everybody's brain just doing what it want to do. There's no mental training.
Right.
There's no mental stability. I don't want to say stability. I want to say that training and that control.
Right.
Because you know we are in control. So
Right.
Yeah.
Of yourself. Of yourself. Dr.
Right.
D and I had this conversation and we were talking about what is it that people can do on social media to be able to stay in control and to get control of maybe their page, their live, and the 3 C's. Cure, cause, and control.
Yeah.
Cure.
Yep.
You can't cure the shit they got. You didn't cause it, but you can control it. Now block them.
Exactly.
Cure, cause, control. There you go.
Exactly. We got a
Instead of
question.
giving it your energy. So
Right.
that's one tip everybody on this live can take. Cure, cause, and control.
Yeah.
Don't give it your energy.
There you go.
We got an audience question, ladies, from Mr. Levante Rogers. Asked Dr. Tyra, Dr. Candace about the phrase, the disease of me.
Okay. And so I want to make sure I understand this correctly. It's a gentleman asking about that phrase. Like, what does it mean to me personally, like professionally? When I hear it, I don't like it.
Right.
Because it doesn't define you.
No,
It's
it
what you
doesn't.
got. It's something that you have. It's not who you are. Whether it's cancer, schizophrenia, whether it's leukemia, whether it's AIDS, and mental illness or bipolar. That's something you have. That's not who you are.
Exactly.
Don't say the disease in me. I mean, yeah, that's something you have. It's
Right.
so whomever is saying that, they are attaching their core and their core beliefs to what they have, what's going on. Because some things are curable. Actually, I'm going to say this. All things are curable. And some people may debate me and say, well, not really, Dr. C, because such and such passed away. It's still a cure. You're going to live or die.
Right.
Yeah.
It's still a cure.
Pretty much.
You gonna survive with it,
Or
or
you
you
gonna-
not. That's the
And that's something I always said with to pertaining to my nephew. Because when you get older people, they're like, "Oh, well, don't say he had." I said he does have autism. I said, but he isn't autism. He has it,
Thank
and
you.
he's in control.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know when I think of disease of me, I look at it more on a leadership standpoint. I look at it more you see it more on teams, and things like that within organizations. Like you see that
Yeah.
more in, sports and things like that. Um, People do suffer from, feeling underappreciated, you
Mhm.
know, but people do need to understand they have to focus on yourself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because the thing is, we spend too much time out here worrying about what the next person is doing. You have to focus on what you're doing and
Jordan.
what you can do instead of worrying about what everybody else can do for you.
Yeah.
Well, it starts with self. And once you're able to identify the things that you can do, that's
Hmm.
all you can worry about. I mean, the most expensive thing we could do that is free as hell is pay attention.
Yeah.
Amen.
It's the freest thing we could do. But people don't want to do it. It
No,
don't cost nothing to pay attention.
no, it
But we
don't.
don't. And with the call I'm calling for everyone is pay more attention to yourself and stop
Amen.
paying attention to all these people out here, all of these naysayers, all of these
Yeah.
people who are, meaning you harm, that's not doing you no good. If they're not
Yeah.
telling you nothing, if you're spending time listening to somebody that's not telling you anything positive about you, you don't need to talk to them.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
I have a problem when I tell somebody if something bothers me
Mhm.
or I don't like something, and
Mhm.
instead of them stop doing it, they want to amp up like it's funny.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so you like HIV to me.
my misery is your entertainment.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Exactly.
A lot of people like that.
Of
A
course.
lot
Yes.
of people like to watch people feeling bad about themselves or bad about some things that they may have going on. Situational anger is real, and
Yes, it is.
situational negative behaviors of people is real too. Because the thing is, they want to sit back and they want to, you know, the nitpicking makes them feel good.
Yes.
If I feel bad, you should feel bad.
Yeah.
And at this point, that's when you need to say, okay, I don't need these type of people in my life.
That's right.
Amen.
Yeah.
Remove yourself
You
from the
know,
situation.
or if it's somebody in social media land, I don't need to have this vibe in my circle.
That's
I
right.
need to
Amen.
remove myself from this engagement because it's not meaning me any well. And
Right.
being mentally well is more important than anything else in this world. Physical health, mental health, they the two that we have, and they're the two that we need to focus more on, because if we
Yeah.
don't focus in on it now,
It's gonna get worse.
it exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
You continue going down the rabbit hole, and
Hmm.
people think they can have one without the other, but we see how that works for some. You could
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
physically fit and have all your vitals okay, everything's going on with you
But your
physically.
mental.
However, your mental state is tainted,
Yep.
or your mental state can be. You can have good mental health because you have three
Yep.
components: you good, fair,
Yeah.
and poor. You could
Yep.
have good mental health, but then you lying in the bed and you sick.
Yep.
You want to take care of both. They go hand in hand.
Hand in
And for the
hand.
most part, like Dr. T stated, that people normally will ignore that part. You go to the
Hmm.
doctor, you'll get your vitals checked, you do all of that. If your arm broke, you know damn well you going to the doctor, get a
Yeah.
cast, the x-ray and
Yep.
everything. But when you're
Exactly.
not feeling your best up here, and you see,
Hmm.
even if you are the perpetrator and
Right.
Yes.
you're out of character and you
Hmm.
send in malicious DMs and you just whatever, just totally out of sync,
Hmm.
out of your character, and on social
Right.
media and causing havoc, you should say, I should get some help. And
Hmm.
talking
Yeah.
to someone is not a bad thing. Everyone needs someone to talk to.
That's right.
Amen. Amen.
Everyone.
Hmm.
Now, see, Dr. Tyra know this person I'm finna bring up. I'm gonna call this person the bone thrower.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, this person throws a lot of bones and likes to see shit get stirred up, but
Hmm.
don't like to be called messy.
Hmm. Hmm.
And will say things. He likes to poke the bear and throw the bone, and then will just say, "Well, it's just the internet."
But everybody don't have that attitude about the internet.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Everybody is not walking through here. It's like, okay, we just gonna have fun. Some
Hmm.
people
Well,
take some things
not
to heart.
not when you actually poking and throwing bones on.
Hmm.
Right.
What do y'all say about that kind of behavior?
With that kind of behavior, it's very, very immature. It sounds like that person is an emotional predator. because it's like they can throw it and they throw something and then it's a very passive aggressive. I hurt you, but I didn't mean to hurt you. You know I'm just playing. You know these people ain't taking it real. You know how I feel about you. We go back. I love you. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you forget what people think. Yeah, but you said it. So that's a passive aggressive behavior. So that's immature to me. So it sounds like they're not using, and I'm not saying something is particularly wrong with this person as in a mental disorder, but it sounds like that person needs to understand emotional intelligence because they're lacking it. Because again, that equates and it goes back to treat me how you want me to treat you. If I did it to you and you got a certain reaction, you be in your feelings and we'd have a conversation. So please don't do it to me. And it sounds like they're lacking that. They're not putting other people's feelings and emotions first, or not even first, but just looking at it. Because you ain't got to put it first. But just look at look at what you're doing. That's a passive aggressive behavior. That is an emotional predator.
All right.
Well, I mean, because the thing is like, you definitely have to take people's feelings into consideration,
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, when we're on social media, at the end of the day is social media.
Yeah.
People's lives go on when you hit that X, whether you're on Facebook or whether you're on Twitter or whether you're on Instagram. Life is going to go, or TikTok, because I know TikTok is on the rise. When that camera goes off, that's it. Your life is, you have to deal with whatever you put out there on social media, whether good or bad. When it's good, you don't hear nothing.
Right.
But when it's bad, you hear everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything, and that's not good. Because at the end of the day, these people have lives that they have to go to when it's over.
Yeah.
And my thing is, I've talked to, I talked to the ladies, Michelle and Rochelle, about this. I talked to Dr. Candace about this. People need to watch what they're putting out on social media.
Yes.
Because you're not going to have people doing this to you if you're not allowing it. Some things is not meant for IG, some things is not meant for TikTok.
Right.
Just keep, what I mean? Like a lot of personal business have been put out there. Okay, put it in a book. I'll help you write a book. I'll tell you where to go.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everything is not made for IG, but I think a lot of people want to get put on and they're using IG as their form of television.
Yes.
So to speak. We see a lot of celebrities and we see a lot of regular folks having major come ups for social media. And I think that's one of the other biggest problems, that's going on, because a lot of people see this and they like, oh man, I'm gonna go do this, and this. But my response to them is what was for those people was for those people.
Yeah.
It was their time.
Yeah.
It's not your time.
That's
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just like you have to understand and look at what you're doing. What are you doing? Are you putting out the same energy that these people are putting out? Are you doing some of the things that they're doing to make themselves relevant? You know what I mean? I think one of the biggest blowups that we've seen, this whole, within this year was D-Nice.
D-Nice, exactly.
His come up was bigger than anybody.
Overnight.
But the energy that he put out.
Yeah, he's a good
You know
person.
what I mean? His energy. You know what I mean? His energy, his aura, all of that played into all of his stars aligning for all of this to happen to him.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's just like some people you could see where they was doing stuff and it wasn't genuine, but you see where his was genuine. You know what I mean? You felt what he was feeling. You know what I mean? You look at Fat Joe and some of the things he's doing.
Yeah.
You felt the energy. You seen where it was going. And these are like the two that I'm thinking of off the top of my head because I see a lot of the big things that they're doing. But then you have, a whole bunch of other people that's like, I'm gonna do it too. And
and a lot of people, what you said, the key thing is the energy, and a lot of people have such negative energy and negative intentions.
Yes.
And when you have those two at the mix, you can never come up.
Yes.
Right.
That's right.
I believe whatever you do, I mean, it may be just the internet or IG, but I believe whatever energy you're putting out there in the world, because regardless if it's IG or Facebook, you're still putting out energy in the world.
Right.
And that energy is going to come back to you.
And that's why we try to stay with positive lives. We'd like to keep ours funny and have some fun. I know you two ladies provide us with great mental health tips, and you've got jokes in between the conversation while you're giving us some knowledge. So that's what I would advise anybody to do that like to watch anything on IG. Whoever's giving out positive vibes and good energy. That's what I would give most of my devotion to. Yeah. Now, some of my friends, I'll support them, but if I stay in there and I'm like, that's too ratchet.
Because I've noticed you have a certain people that are on IG, and they're rarely on a positive platform.
Right.
But when you see that negative one, they're always on that negative platform.
Right.
Oh, what are you doing? They're doing something demeaning, or they're doing something, messed up, but they're over there instead of being somewhere where it's positive, the vibes are good.
Right.
So, and it kind of makes me see like, okay, I kind of see what kind of person you are.
Right.
You like mess.
Because if you intake food,
it's
to have a certain way of health. You intake music of your preference that puts you at ease or makes you feel happy. Yeah, and what we watch and what we read is also part of that diet. You can only eat so much junk food. That's what I consider trashy lives.
Yeah. Trash music. That's why I moved away from hip hop. I still like some of it, but it's gotten so demeaning and trashy. And I tell folks, how can you listen to that crap all day?
Exactly.
You wonder why you're so miserable.
Right. Because you are inhaling this on a regular basis.
Every day.
Every day. And that's absolutely what we consume, physically and mentally. You become. You know that old term they said, you are what you eat.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And it's what we're consuming and what you're fixated on. That's like someone saying, I ain't never got no money. I'm always be broke. Then your ass gonna always be broke.
Always be broke.
Always be broke.
I thank you every night for letting me be a millionaire.
Yes.
It's already there.
Thank you for my house with the 4 or 5 floors.
On my 5-bedroom row house. I always put it out there like I got it already, and I thank God for it early.
Thank God for Winston. Thank God for Winston Duke.
You know what?
Thank God for Winston Duke.
She having heat flashes now. We ain't talking about Winston Duke, okay?
I'm just thankful to brace my eyes on him. That's all I got to say about that.
I could not watch Black Panther. I could not enjoy Black Panther with this hoochie. As soon as that man came out the cave, I was like, girl, calm down. Jesus. I mean, the brother is fine. Now, I tell that. There ain't nothing like a big chunk of chocolate. Okay?
I'm just saying.
And I'm going to say something else because one of the people that we follow, and when we first met him, a lot of folks would jive this person. Oh, he's slow, or he's this and that. And he has become, in my eyes, and I'm sure yours too, one of the most intelligent, respectful, and he's always supporting people.
Yes, always.
And the main people that was dogging him were the ones that I see always on ratchet stuff.
Yes.
Or doing something ratchet.
Exactly.
And I said, so maybe y'all was trying to down him to make yourself feel better, but I see.
Right. What he truly brings.
Who he is, and I see what y'all are.
See, now we got to have a part 2, y'all, because I was going to tap on something. But I got to bring y'all back for that because I know we'll talk about that for another 2 hours. About the gentleman named Kevin Samuels. Don't answer because I already know y'all. She's like, why you bring it up? She's like, why you bring that up? Because I was thinking about it. And let's go ahead and knock it on out.
Come on, let's do this real quick.
You guys see this?
Because we'll be here all day, ladies.
Girl, I'm telling you. That's why I said we're going to pause it.
You got to come back with me because I have a...
I'll come back. Yeah, I'll come back.
Okay, we'll have part 2 and talk about this.
Yeah, we're going to have part 2 strictly dedicated to why women are going to this platform trying to get advice, and it's nothing but negative input. And I just don't see how you can walk away feeling good about yourself after having a breakdown of who you are in such a demeaning fashion. But ladies, I had to thank you all I cannot thank you guys a little bit about having this conversation about mental health and social media. Dr. Candace, would you please give our audience your information?
Oh, everyone, my name is Dr. Candace Elaine. I am on Instagram, and that is it. On my Instagram, Dr. Candace Elaine. And you can just come to me there on Instagram, and yeah, that's how you can follow me. And my website is CandaceWalters.com. But do it on Instagram first. I prefer that.
Yes. And Dr. T, tell them where they can find you at.
You can find me on Instagram at Anger Dr. Tyra. On Instagram and on Facebook, I'm Tyra Gardner. And you could also come to my website at tyrasgardner.com.
And let me tell y'all something. When y'all go to Dr. Tyra's, because you know why we've been calm and cool? We've been using Calm. This is Dr. Tyra's Calm Box. We have the lavender.
Oh, is that what you got in here?
That's what I got in here. Because we didn't want no positive vibes. I said, I'm going to put Dr. Tyra's lavender oil in our diffuser, and we just going to have the scent go out. We're going to have good positive vibes. So get your box. All right?
Y'all got to come back in my t-shirt. I want them. So you had all the diamonds on the breasts.
I know, I got it. I was
Shut up,
actually
she got
making
plenty of
shirts
studs.
today. I was in here making shirts today.
Well, thank you, darling. I'm not listening to Michelle. And I got to get on her friend Kevin Tate because he owed me a t-shirt too.
Okay then. Ladies, thank you ladies again so much.
Love it,
Have a
y'all.
good evening. We'll talk to you ladies very soon.
Thank
Bye.
y'all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank
That's
you.
the fabulous Dr. Tyra and Dr. Kins.
I like a Lane. That's a name you don't hear a lot. I don't know if it's her middle name or last, but I like a Lane.
I just say Dr. Candace. because we saw her
Lane.
on Dr. Tyra's
No,
show.
I remember her. Trust me, I
Dr.
remember.
Tyra has a show every Sunday, I believe around 6 o'clock, 6:30 p.m. I'm going to check our local listings because we're in a different time zone. But every week Sunday, she's got a good guest. She had Dr. Candace on her show one night.
She's an hour ahead.
And I said, I like her. I like Dr. Candace.
Oh, yeah, she's down to earth.
Yeah.
She's regular people with a PhD in education and common sense, you know. And I like people that like that because you don't want nobody trying to talk to you and tell you and they think they're all the way up here.
Right.
You know.
Right.
You don't want that.
I don't need
You want someone that's going to relate to you.
Right.
And I think that's exactly what she was saying when you're looking for a doctor or a mental doctor.
Mm-hmm.
You want someone that's able to relate to you.
I don't want no nonsense.
I need to probably talk to her girls. I know I still got me some issues, girl.
Oh, Lord. We ain't got that kind of time on
Look,
our
girl, don't
hands.
you start with me.
Look, thanks again for tuning in, everybody. This will be on demand on Indie Central TV probably within the next 24 hours, but you guys can always watch it right here on YouTube and also on Twitch. It will be uploaded later on Facebook. Thanks again for supporting the Heifer. So until next time, I think we got a comedian next week.
Okay.
A diva. She's been on Wild 'N Out. She's been on a whole bunch of different productions. She's ignorant as hell, and that's why we had to have her as a guest.
Okay, she fit right on in.
She's going to fit right on in with the Heifers. All right, everybody? So until next time, everybody, thanks for your support and peace.
I holla.